Good morning, America. It looks like we're here again talking about where we're going and what can we do and where this country is going. Yeah, we've seen all kinds of promising movements by the Republicans on the Hill, and in the sense that they want to bring accountability for what we've seen over the last couple of years and beyond. But many people say the same thing. We're looking at a uniparty. We're looking at Republicans and Democrats that voted for these bills that have been passed, the omnibus and the infrastructure and the gun control, and all of those things had Republican support. And many people are saying that the Democrats are these evil people that have caused all this. It's a very good question that we need to really recognize and look at the fact that what goes on in DC is because it's full of politicians, and these politicians aren't looking out for our best interests. We are the American people. We are the backbone of this country. We are the society that continues to believe that we are the people of laws and order, and we don't commit the chaos, and we don't push crazy agendas. We just all want the same thing. We want to be left alone. We want to be able to work our jobs. We want to be able to raise our families and buy our homes and cars and just enjoy ourselves. And for doing that, we just want to pay our taxes. We don't want to be overly taxed. We need to look at probably, not just possibly, but we need to look at changing our tax code. On my website, the American Patriot Movement, I do have the two different options that I've seen, the fair tax and the flat tax, both of which are very good options. We really need to look at changing our tax code. The southern border crisis is just now finally getting recognized. I think we're over 3 million illegal, undocumented immigrants have come in from 160 different countries. So it's not this South America because of climate change. People are coming from all over because they've heard they're not going to be stopped and they're going to be allowed into America. Now, granted, this country is founded on the principles of immigration and people coming from other countries to flee from whatever tyranny or for a better life. Those are the things that we offer in America, but we also have laws. And those laws say, if you're going to come here legally and go through the legal process. Now, many people say, well, we need to fix our immigration laws. We've asked them to do that for how many administrations, and nothing has changed. We need to fix our immigration laws. Now, again, we'll go back into this in a minute, but I just want you to know my name is Edward A. Gray. I am running for Senate to replace Rick Scott this time. I ran against Marco Rubio, and I was a write-in candidate. This time I'm actually going to be going around looking to get enough signatures so I can get on the ballot and become a certified candidate. I have been and always will be an independent. I do not need to run in the primaries because, in my opinion, and many other people's opinion, our biggest problem is the two-party system having a stranglehold on this country. We need to realize that Republican, Democrat is immaterial. We're all Americans. We are all Americans, and we all need and want the same thing. We want our government to work for us better, but we also want limited government. The original idea of this country was the states held the power and the government was only a backup or a support system. This government has gotten out of control. A lot of the things that we're seeing that happen in the states that the government's controlling are, by all intent and purposes, should never be happening. The states should be in control of their lands and be able to choose what they do with their lands. As a reference, Texas, any of the southern border states, they shouldn't be hearing from the government how they can control the influx of immigrants. They should be in control. Now, personally, I've always wondered why those ranchers and those people that live on the southern border don't just open up a part of their ranch to gun ranges and allow our sportsmen and our hunters to go out there and practice their shooting. The Tanzanite and things like that, so that they can ensure that they're very good for it. Would that decrease the amount of illegal immigrants? It would be a hindrance, I'm sure, but that's just a thought, okay? We have a major problem with this country, and it's going in a direction that millions of us are saying we do not want, we do not like. And yet, one of our biggest problems is, how do we all come together and make the government listen to us? So my proposal is very simple. We look at this summer, this spring, that everybody from every town and city across this country, stop, board your house up, turn off your utilities, and let's all start heading towards Fredericksburg, Virginia, and meet there by summertime. On our way, we should be able to pick up other people that want to come. If you can't come, then we'll set up a GoFundMe for it. But if we could put this country at a complete standstill, a complete stop. Now, understand, there's going to be liberals and there's going to be Democrats that are going to say, oh no, I don't want any part of this. And that's their choice. Here in America, you have that choice. And they're going to try and continue to make this country run. But without us, if all of us stopped for a month and said, that's it, take our kids, take our families, and let's all go to Virginia. Let's go to Fredericksburg. And there's a big importance for Fredericksburg. But let's all go there. Millions of us show up. Millions of us work together and slow this country to a stop. The government will listen to us, and our demands are simple. Term limits, number one. You can't force things on us. If you want us to seriously take anything that you bring out into consideration, and I'm speaking to you, the government, then you need to allow us the ability to educate ourselves on the goods and the bads of it, and you need to understand that this is our choice. You cannot mandate and force us to do anything. I feel for the Canadians, because right now they're being so unfairly treated by their government. It almost seems like they've moved into a dictatorship with Trudeau, and that's really sad. We have this big, we're throwing billions to Ukraine. You know what? Let's talk about it before you take our tax dollars and throwing it off to another country. There's so many things that we could be doing here at home, and yet we're going to send another 40 billion, 48 billion, 40 billion, 70 billion, whatever, to Ukraine, and equipment. The last reports I've heard is we're actually depleting our military vehicles and equipment because we're sending the majority over to Ukraine, on top of which we left an entire arsenal in Afghanistan. There are so many things that need to be looked at, and these politicians that are on the Hill are not going to do it. They're going to cover for each other. They're going to say, oh yeah, we looked at it, we went through all of these committees, we spent 2, 5, 10 years on it, and we found nobody did anything wrong. How many times have we heard that happening? It's never going to change until we all stand up together. It's never going to change. And running to the voting booth and voting for a Republican or voting for a Democrat because you're afraid the other one is going to win only makes it easier for them. You're doing the same thing over and over, hoping for different results, and yet the same people have always been perpetually up there on the hill controlling this government. And on top of that, there are non-elected officials in the government that control a lot of things that should never have that ability. Again, think about this. This spring, close up your homes, turn off your utilities, pack up the family, bring everything that you can that you'll need for at least a month. Let's all meet in Virginia, Fredericksburg, Virginia. If we close this country down, they will have to listen to us. I'm Edward A. Gray, running for United States Senate here in the beautiful state of Florida. My hope is to be able to replace Rick Scott and show that how we solve our biggest problems here in this country is stop electing politicians and start electing regular people. Because I can go up there and I can make these speeches and I can tell people what I think is right and wrong when it comes to our country, but I won't have any big company behind me stuffing my pockets full of money. And to me, that's another thing that I would really push to do is let's eliminate lobbyists and special interest groups out of Washington altogether, because that corrupts the system. There are a lot of things that need to be done, and instead of getting them done, they keep getting kicked down the road. Or as an example, we've heard the latest thing with the airline. They got a $3 billion bailout loan or something like that, which was supposed to fix their communication systems and their computer systems. How did that work out? Because they just couldn't get any flights off the ground there a few days back because their computer systems are old and outdated. So what did they do with the money? I'll bet you I know what they did with the money. And the people up in Washington are all going to be, oh, we'll set up an investigation and we'll talk to everybody, and then they'll go, oh, well, we tried, we couldn't do anything. These things have to be fixed. You know what? Morals, values, standards have to come back into light as being our basic idea for this country. Now, we're also the gun-believing, law-abiding citizens. We all have our gun licenses and our concealed carry permits and stuff like that. So bring your guns. We're not there to start a battle, but we're there to show that we're not the ones that are the problem. You keep throwing these stupid gun laws out saying this and that, and guess what? Illegals don't register their guns. Illegals don't use guns that they've went and bought and they've signed off for. We people that have done that legally, have bought our guns, have gotten our licenses, are being punished because you, and I'm talking to all of you up on Capitol Hill, don't know how to fix the problem. You know what? Remove all gun laws. Allow us to open carry. Guarantee you crime will go down, if not stop completely. Give us the ability to defend ourselves. My name is Edward A. Gray. I'm running for United States Senate in the beautiful state of Florida. One of the 2 senators that we have available. Just like any other state, you get 2 senators. So I would represent all of Florida. And I think that there is a better way for us to run this country, and it's not by continuing down the same path of electing politician after politician. I love our country. I want our country to always move forward with being the best country it can be. For my children, which are all adults now, my granddaughter, and any other grandchildren I may have, I want them to enjoy the freedoms and the beliefs and the abilities that we have here in this country. And I would love for anybody to come to America that wants to have a better life, wants to reach for that golden ring and the American dream. But we need to fix our country so that it works better for us all. So join me. My website is theamericanpatriotmovement.com. Patriots page will talk about this march I'm referring to. There's other pages there that'll give you information when it comes to taxes and term limits and all of the things, my platform, etc. theamericanpatriotmovement.com. And you can reach me through my emails, Edward A. Grafer Senate at yahoo.com. No, Edward for Senate at yahoo.com. And Defiance 34758 at protonmail.com. America, if we don't do this, it's only going to get worse. We need to stand together. So join us.